to teach the technique that I use to paint. I've been teaching that to a lot of people, my friends, family, workers, and customers, and as many people as I can tell, because it looks like it is efficient and it makes sense, and you can take advantage of it, you know, especially if you're planning to paint your house, or even if you're a contractor and you're learning how to do it, or you're starting how to, you know, painting or whatever, or you're a worker or helper or whatever. So this is what happens. I normally use, and I say normally, it's almost like 95% of the time, I use good quality paint. The time that I use good quality paint is because my customers want me to, or they give me the paint that they want, and you know, you have to work with the paint that they have. But I always prefer a good quality paint. Why? If you have to paint, maybe twice is fine. But when you're using a material that is too poor in the chemicals and the texture and all the density, you're spending a lot of time painting, and it doesn't make sense, you know, for anybody. You know, the timing, the laborers or whatever, you know, it's not good. So this is what we did. Cover the floors. We already painted all the borders around, and this is a demonstration. So we have all these walls prepared for the paint of the walls. So here it is, very simple. What I do is that I put paint on the walls without having too much concern of where I'm putting the paint. What I want is that the surface in general has paint for me to work with. If you notice, my tray is in that direction. A lot of people have the tray in one place and they're painting in another place, and it becomes a hassle and they're dripping, and sometimes you step on it or somebody steps on and stuff, so you always have your tray in the front of you. You know, a regular 3/8 nap is really nice. When I say 3/8, it's the thickness of the wall, nothing too thick if you're painting a surface like this one. Nothing too thick because it will be painting and painting and painting. So when you apply a good amount of paint on the walls, don't exaggerate, you know, you have the opportunity to work on the wall more than just going back and forth on the tray. And that will result in a better uniform surface, and the application becomes a little easier. So this is how we do it, very simple. What I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to spray some paint on the wall first. You notice I'm not too worried about the direction and all the stuff. I want to make sure without dripping too much on the floor. You already have those covers for the reason, you know, on the floor. Don't go too fast, because by going too fast, you will send paint everywhere. So the first time that you have paint on your roller, make sure that you put it nice and gently, so it doesn't drip. Okay? And I'm just going to put it one more time over here. And this, what it's doing is ensuring that you have enough paint on the surface. Always make sure that you have the paint that you need, the requirement, you know, because if you have a little bit, I mean, you will end up having a thin coat and you have to paint everything again. So we have already the paint over there. You don't see a lot of drips, I mean not drips, but a thick layer of paint. I'm not worried about this stuff. This is what I'm going to do. First step is not to go too close to the wall, because you still have like a little vein of paint at the end. If you notice, I'm just spreading this thing. It's a nice and thick layer, and I'm going all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top. I encourage you to use your broomstick or something, but if you do it only with your hand, the reach and the coverage will be minimum. So, you know, unless you're painting a bathroom like the one inside there, what you want to do is have a good stick that you can work with. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm putting less pressure, and I'm going to go back to the starting point. This, what it's doing is helping me to correct thicknesses. When I say thicknesses, is that you create sometimes little veins on the wall, and I'm just applying a thin amount of pressure, very, very weak, because I'm just correcting the little edges. So you still have a nice layer of paint on the surface, and yet is nice and even. So at the end, again, now that I don't have that much paint on my roller, I just clean the stuff all the way to the end. Now if you come closer, let me show you something. The surface is nice and even. With these paints that have some sort of primer in it, you have a better coverage. You may be able to paint just once, sometimes you have to come back and see because, nobody's perfect. But it helps you to reduce the time that you're spending on your walls, and you're ensuring there's a nice uniform area without veins and without drips and all that stuff. And that's what I wanted to show you in this video. Guys, a really simple step, very useful, and I hope it helps for you. If you want to learn how to do the trimming, please look some of the other videos that I have in Spanish or English, and they will help you to understand how this works. Okay, thank you so much.